Fuel types. Every experienced landscaper will tell you a story of the wrong fuel being used in a piece of equipment. There are two possible outcomes, both bad. Either it's time-consuming and expensive to drain the improper fuel and start again, or the equipment is badly damaged because it has run on the wrong fuel. Either way, it's an expensive hassle. First, let's get our terminology right. When we speak of fuel, we could be talking about any one of the various types of fuel. There are 4 different types of fuel used in landscaping equipment: unleaded gasoline, 2-cycle mixed fuel, clear diesel, and dyed diesel. These are all fuels. First, the most common fuel is unleaded gasoline, and it's used in what we call 4-cycle or 4-stroke engines like our cars and large lawnmowers. Here is some landscape equipment that uses unleaded gasoline. These engines are said to use straight gasoline to distinguish this from mixed gasoline, which we will talk about later. Unleaded gasoline and fuel grades. There are usually 3 or 4 different grades of unleaded gasoline to choose from at the service station pumps, usually ranging from 87 to 94 octane. An octane rating is the measure of the performance additives in the gasoline. The lower octane gasolines are often called simply regular gas and usually have an 87 octane rating. The 89 octane is sometimes called mid-grade. The higher octane gasolines of 91 to 95 octane are often called premium gasoline or premium unleaded. If you fuel up at your company yard, you will likely not be given the choice of which unleaded gasoline to use. There will likely only be one tank to draw from. So there are a few grades of unleaded gasoline. When filling at a service station, most companies will use 87 to 89 octane, but your supervisor will tell you which to use. The important thing is that you know which one you are supposed to use and that you pay attention when fueling. Regular grade unleaded gasoline is used in many cars and pickup trucks, unless they are diesel, and in some but not all lawnmowers. It is used in some small engine equipment like generators, trimmers, and edgers. Honda's trimmers are one of the few brands of handheld equipment to use unmixed, unleaded gasoline. Most handheld equipment is usually 2-cycle and uses mixed gas. Unleaded fuel is slightly yellowish, as we can see here, and its odor is unmistakably gasoline. The next type of fuel we want to talk about is unleaded fuel mixed with oil. We often call this mixed gas, 2-stroke mix, or 2-cycle mixed. For mixed fuel, we mix gasoline, and again, your supervisor will tell you which grade to use, and 2-cycle engine oil like this. This 2-cycle oil is sometimes green, but is usually blue and typically looks like this. And when mixed with gasoline, makes the gasoline look like this. Do not confuse 2-cycle oil with motor oil, which is used internally in 4-cycle engines to lubricate the motor's parts. With mixed fuel, the oil mixed in with the gasoline is burned in the course of running the engine, but the oil still lubricates the engine. Without this oil mixed in the fuel, the engine will very quickly overheat and be severely damaged. While the visual difference between this and straight gasoline is obvious here, it will not always be so obvious when it is stored in a red can. Even when pouring, it is sometimes hard to tell its color immediately. Pay attention while you are pouring. The wrong fuel can wreck an engine. Also, this is a good time to mention, never assume that your fuel can is labeled correctly. Always take the time to visually check what you are pouring. You can catch someone else's mistake by double-checking as you pour. Not sure? Ask your supervisor or coworker to help you. Your supervisor may ask you to prepare a batch of mixed fuel. He will tell you to mix a given amount of oil with a given amount of fuel. It is best to add the oil to the fuel container first for a thorough mixing of the oil with the fuel. Always take your time, be precise, and when in doubt, ask your supervisor or a coworker for some help. Caution: running regular unmixed gasoline in an engine requiring mixed fuel will quickly destroy the engine. There is another type of diesel fuel called dyed diesel. It is ordinary diesel fuel with an added colorant or dye, usually appearing light red or pink, and it looks like this. It has the same oily appearance and smell as normal diesel. It can be called colored diesel, dyed diesel, farm diesel, or even pink diesel. Why is it dyed? Well, in many places, diesel fuel for use in non-road equipment like tractors and loaders can be purchased in bulk with less tax on it than ordinary diesel fuel. To tell the two fuels apart, the lower tax diesel is dyed pink. One error that you can make is to put dyed diesel into a diesel pickup truck. This will not hurt the truck's engine, but if you were caught by the tax authorities doing this, your employer could face a very serious fine. Always tell your supervisor immediately if you think you've made a fuel filling mistake, including one with dyed diesel. It might be embarrassing to admit this mistake, but it's far less so than if you were to ruin a piece of equipment or get your employer in trouble with the authorities. Putting gasoline into a diesel engine or diesel into a gasoline engine is a serious mistake and can destroy the engine quickly. We sometimes call the normal diesel fuel used in trucks clear diesel to set it apart from dyed diesel.